Hey guys, welcome back to Set Streets and Eats. I'm Chris Bauer. I am in Cooperstown, New York today. I'm very excited to be back in Cooperstown. I've been here a few times in my life. This is a very special time to me. I love baseball and I love history, and baseball history is some of my favorites. It's always looked the same, which is again something very charming about it. They've kept it very original. And for those you don't know, which most people do know this, even if you're not in the baseball, Cooperstown, New York is where the Baseball Hall of Fame is. Now, the reason that it's here is based off of a story that has since been debunked by baseball historians, but a man named Abner Doubleday was said to have invented the game of baseball here in 1839 in a cow pasture. They have the Doubleday Field, which is a field right by the Hall of Fame that they do a lot of events at. And once the lore of that story was established, I believe the Hall of Fame was established in 1939, 100 years later. And people have been coming here ever since to celebrate baseball and its history. And of course, the main street reflects that. Pretty much every store is baseball related or sports related, and restaurants are themed, and there's Shoeless Joe Jackson's, sports collectibles, things like that. So the whole town has kind of been reshaped around that motif, and I'm going to take you around and show you some of it, and then we're going to go tour the Hall of Fame, and I'm pretty excited, and I hope you'll join me. Let's travel.
I'm Chris Bauer, and I am an art slinger. I travel around the U.S. selling artwork at comic and anime conventions, and while I'm there, I like to check out cool sights, eat great food, and see all the places my favorite movies and TV shows are made. Welcome to Sets, Streets, and Eats.
Lots of these little souvenir shops all around. Cooperstown Cigar Company. That's pretty cool. This is basically, it looks like a fashion brand based on baseball. That's kind of neat. Nice store. This is the statue of the Sandlot Kid. It's basically the heart of the American spirit of baseball. The barefoot kid standing outside with his friends playing ball. So this is where they filmed A League of Their Own. And they still have several high-profile baseball games, usually annually here. Gina Davis walks in this entrance right behind me in the beginning of the movie, and then it flashes back. The whole movie is the flashback of her thinking about her life while they're at this game, and then of course the ending credits. It's a little cold on the ears. The ending credits is, of course, all the ladies and their elder years playing in the game of baseball. It's a very nostalgic movie. Love that movie. A lot of people love that movie. But yeah, they filmed that here and at the museum, and then the rest of the filming locations were in Illinois, Indiana, some of the Midwest states. I first came here, I want to say it was 1991 or 92. My friend Matt Sedlak and I got to come out here with our dads. Our dads brought us to Cooperstown. Got to go to the Hall of Fame, and that was at the height of my love of baseball. Collected baseball cards, was obsessed with the Tigers and the Yankees, and just loved, breathed, thought about baseball all the time. So I got to come at the height of that, which I mean, I have nothing but fond memories of that. I still have a bat that we got at the museum there, and it was just such a huge experience. But I can remember being a kid standing outside of this baseball stadium, and I'm sure one of our dads probably said it, but they said that this was where baseball was invented. I just remember that like imprinting into my brain that right here on this field and these bleachers was where the first game was played, which of course it wasn't, but in the area it was played early. I don't know what the debunking of Doubleday's story was. I don't know exactly where baseball was invented, but it is said to have been invented somewhere else. But it was definitely played here early on, and it's become synonymous with baseball because of the Hall of Fame. So you might as well say this is where baseball was invented. But I definitely always felt like it was because of those early memories, and I've been back here a few times as an adult, and it's always looked identical to when I was here when I was a kid. I love that about this town. It does not change. Everything still looks the same, and people love coming here because of that and celebrating baseball. It's hard not to smile when you're in this town. It's just such a slice of Americana. It's got all this nostalgia and fondness wrapped up into it. It's pretty awesome.
How can you not be romantic about baseball?
That's pretty cool. A bottle. I like the boxes too. Those are awesome. Very cool. Good idea. Definitely a cool purchase for a at-home bar. That's an ice cream shop for sale for 40 grand if anybody's interested. baseball club in 1855 in New York. Old game. From the first game that charged admission. Wow. That's cool. The Red Stockings, Cincinnati. Wow. So one of my favorite books of all time is called If I Never Get Back by Darrell Brock. It is about the 1860 era Cincinnati Red Stockings. It's a time travel book. It's one of the greatest books ever written. I've read it a million times. But basically it follows a modern man named Sam Fowler, which is Mark Twain's real name. He was named after Mark Twain, but that also plays into the story. But he goes back in time and ends up playing for the Red Stockings of that era. They use all the real players that were on there and make them actual historic characters. It's absolutely fantastic. And seeing their faces and names in that display just kind of brought back all the memories of that book, because they intertwine nonfiction and fiction flawlessly in that book. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's so good. So this basically talks about baseball actually invented Doubleday as opposed to Doubleday inventing Abner Doubleday, as opposed to him inventing baseball. Check it out. They've got 3 baseball cards that are probably worth $1 billion. It's like the old Hornus Wagner baseball card from that era. It's worth a fortune. Johnny Evers bat. Really early history hero in baseball. Oh, I know who that uniform belongs to. The Babe himself.
Again, they were telling me about the bad weather they had down there, but today it seems to me that it's very good. And someone was asking me about how I was going to get along with Joe McCarthy. Well, Joe and I think are going to get along very nicely.
That's actually his voice.
I think he and I are going to get together, and as far as the ball club is concerned,
This whole room is dedicated to Babe Ruth.
the club is in very good shape. And we get a little better pitching than we got last year. I think the race is going to be.
You gotta know that Babe Ruth was bigger than life. I'm not sure there's been, at least in the modern era, there's no one like that where everyone on the planet knew who that was. But baseball used to be so much bigger than it is now. There's a reason they used to call it America's pastime. Ty Cobb played from the Detroit Tigers, won 3 pennants while he was with them. They actually filmed some of that movie Cobb, the one starring Tommy Lee Jones, here as well. This gives the timeline of the Negro Leagues and how everything, the history of the players leading up to the integration or the desegregation of the major leagues in 1947, with Jackie Robinson being probably the most famous player. Just some of the hardships that they had to endure going through that process. It's terrible, but you know, I'm sure white players probably didn't want to be showed up because those guys is good, and Jackie Robinson was better than all of them. Jackie's jersey. That's crazy. That's awesome. About all the female players that actually have played throughout all history, but most famously during World War II when their guys were out fighting Nazis. Basically the League of Their Own era. And this is the Penny Marshall.
Hi, I'm Penny Marshall, and I directed the film Under Their Own. The way I first found out about these girls playing professional baseball was from a documentary that was brought to me about the All-American Girls Professional Baseball. When I saw this, I said, I didn't know they played baseball in the 40s and 50s. If I don't know about it, other people don't know. So I thought it was important to make a film about these women and let other people in the world know that this existed. The big screen is a great way to give information. Didn't want to preach it, but I wanted to make them identify with the women and what they went through. It was history, and it was part of our American history. And it also gave kids, young girls of today, some heroes or idols to look got to see women doing things outside the box, outside their normal roles in life. And more girls are in sports today than ever before. When a father told me he could now play catch with his girl, it touched my heart. The main thing about this movie is don't be ashamed of your talent. Whatever it is, be proud.
That's a good lesson, I think. From the Beyond. Penny passed away a few years ago. She's a great director, very funny actress. Stan Musial is Jersey. Stan the Man, they called him. Yogi Berra, George Weiss, Phil Rizzuto, Mickey the Mick. When I was a kid, we were at an antique store, my dad and I were, and we found a Mickey Mantle autobiography. And inside it was signed, it said Mickey Mantle. So we bought it. It was only $15, and we took it to a baseball card shop called JP's Dugout. I still remember that. And we had them assess if it was and compare it to several Mickey Mantle autographs that they had. And this was the early 90s. This was pre-internet, so you basically had to find someone that had a Mickey Mantle autograph to confirm it. And sure enough, they had a couple in the store, and they looked at it, and it was a fake. And I still remember we went back to the antique store and got that $15 back. But for at least a minute, I thought I had a Mickey Mantle autograph on his autobiography. Oh well. Mascots. So this is the era of the heyday. Well, I guess all of the 20th century was the heyday, but where baseball became very pop culture-y in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It was my favorite era. That's when I was super into it. Baseball cards and collectibles, and it was so cool. Oh, I had that. Oh, we used to get those little helmets at Baskin Robbins. Fernando Fisquelia. Mike Schmidt, I remember that. Greatest third baseman of all time. Florida Marlins, 93. All the movies. 8 Men Out, that's a classic. How in the world are you not going to have Field of Dreams in that stack? Yeah, they are. The Bash Brothers had that t-shirt. Wonder Boy from the movie The Natural. You Don't Know Bo. That's awesome. Tony Gwynn.
This was basically where baseball jumped the shark for a lot of people. The home run was an awesome season between Sosa and McGuire, but at the end of it, I don't know, it was still great. And then the Barry Bonds thing, then later on you found about all the steroid use, and it just kind of gave it a mark on its reputation for a lot of fans. Bo Jackson. Heck yeah. I used to have a whole bunch of those RC Cola cans. A whole bunch of different players when I was a kid. And I remember when the starting lineups got big. All these baseball cards I used to collect. That's pretty cool. They cut out all the cards and made this. That's awesome. Look at the backs of the cards. That's pretty cool. I wish I'd have done something like that. I used to have so many thousands of those cards laying around. And most of them were common and not worth anything. That would have been a great idea. Look at that. That's awesome. So the baseball strikes, they had one in 81. The one I really remember is in 94, I believe it was, where they struck and they didn't have a season, and they definitely hurt baseball for a little while, but it obviously bounced back. But they've had several strikes over the years, and they're rough. You know, people get used to depending on baseball, and when it's not there, you know, it's a problem. Some of these collectibles made me think of it that back in the early days of eBay, my dad and I went to an estate sale, and we bought this old radio that was shaped like a baseball. It was on a little stand, but the radio was inside the ball. And the cord had been cut years ago, but it looked really old. Anyway, we put that up on eBay, and that thing sold for over $400. It turns out those radios were given to little league teams that won big games or series or whatever back in the 1940s and the 50s. So it was ancient, and they were very rare. And this one didn't even work, but whoever bought it obviously was going to fix it up and get it working again. But it is pretty sweet. It's the only one I've ever seen like it. Fantasy baseball. Not quite as big as fantasy football, but still huge. There's a really great documentary on Netflix called Rotisserie Baseball, and it talks about the rise of fantasy baseball and the invention of it. Highly recommend watching it. This is baseball photography, which, man, there has been some beautiful, beautiful historic shots taken on a baseball field. Just little moments in history. So cool. That's amazing. That looks like Wrigley. Yep, Wrigley Field. Bat Day.
Stand by the Washington Monument. Lawrence Wagner. Boston Red Stockings. Wow, that's awesome. There's one of the bus shots from the League of Their Own era. Franklin Delano throws out a pitch. This is a famous one. Ty Cobb sliding in. Spring training. Home plate at Ebbets Field. Visitors bullpen. Washington Senators. I remember seeing those bobbleheads when I was a kid. Pool in center field, that's awesome. This turnstile is from the Polo Grounds. Longtime home of the New York Giants. He's stuck in a box. The Philly Fanatic. He's probably one of the most famous mascots in baseball.
Tiger Stadium. My dad was at that game September 27th, 1999. Dodger Stadium, still in use today. One of the greatest players to ever play the game. Bet he got his 3,000th hit with, 600th hit. That's awesome. One of his uniforms. Chasing Ruth. But he did it. Oh, that's cool. The Babe Ruth crown for Hank Aaron. 1977. That's awesome. Oh, his old locker. Very cool. Baseball records and the stories behind them. Roger Hornsby's trophy? Good Lord. Huh. Wow. 1910 this was given out. Good Lord. Oh, this was Ty Cobb's trophy. Wow. That's crazy. Lou Gehrig. Trophy of his and his uniform. Pete Rose, most in a career. If only he hadn't gambled and bet against his team. That's pretty cool. Home run. Barry Bonds, most home runs hit in a season, 73. My whole life it was 61. Roger Maris and I remember watching McGuire get 62. It was amazing. Hank's got the home run era. Former record, most in a career, 755. So many records. So many. Crazy. And they're constantly getting broken, which is even crazier because every time one gets topped, it seems impossible that that person did it. And along comes somebody else that does even more. Series where Gibby hit that home run. Oh, him and Oral Hershiser, they killed it that year. Such iconic moments. 88 World Series. If you remember, the very next year, 89, was when the huge earthquake happened during, I forget which game it was, Giants and the Giants and the Athletics. The earthquake hit San Francisco. This is my favorite baseball cards. This is what was my crack when I was a kid. Let me tell you, I loved baseball cards. Look how old these are. Came with a old stick of gum in each pack. This is the era I used to collect. Man. Oh man, I've still got some of those the 1990 Donruss packs and the 3 packs hanging there on the wall. I've still got several that are unopened. I've still got a bunch of packs that I'd never opened. Truth is, they're probably worthless. But there's that Ken Griffey card everybody wanted. The Upper Deck. Turns out they were printing tons of them. Oh, that's awesome. So this is called Cards Your Mother Threw Away. And you can pull these out. There's all these cards. Wow. That's amazing. How cool is that? So this is a little after, so this would probably be, 93. This is my era right here. Yep, 92. For sure. Oh yeah, I remember those cards. That's awesome. I like these. That's pretty cool. Very cool. Ooh. Yes, huh? Get down here. That's awesome. 87 was always my favorite, honestly. So I think I'm gonna have to, let's retake it. Ready? Yep, retake. There it is. Oh, this is cool. Oh, so this is the actual card that's in there, but they don't want the light to stay on all the time because obviously it would damage it, so you just press the button and the light comes on. Jackie Robinson's Leaf card, wow. That's cool. Oh, wow.
1914 Cracker Jack box card. There it is, Mickey Mantle's rookie card. That thing is worth a bundle. I'm sure they'll have the Hornus Wagner card in here too. Casey Stengel. Wow. That is awesome. 1909 to 1911. Crazy. There it is. Hornus Wagner rookie card. Actually, I'm not sure if it's a rookie card or not, but that's the most expensive card in baseball. Wow. Over $1 million. I remember that card being here when I was a kid. Oh yeah, Ted Williams rookie card. Wow. Looky there. Crazy. Ooh, this is a modern card, 2009. Mike Trout. Huh. Interesting. That's a cool exhibit. Your team today. D-backs, Braves, who just won the World Series last week. Red Sox, Orioles, Cubs, White Sox. Check that out. All the teams represented right here with modern players. That's pretty cool. Tired uniforms. Al Kaline, met him twice. So cool. Johnny Bench. Very, very famous catcher. Golden Glove winner, MVP award. Very cool. Casey Stengel? Yep. Very famous arguer at the plate of umpires. That's awesome. Oh, I've seen this one many times. It's beautiful. The Baseball Game, 1897, by Henry Sandham. Stanley Musial signs autographs for young fans. Oh, I've seen this many times too. Rain delay. That looks very Norman Rockwellian. Getting the game, the big game in. World Series opener. Little baseball player. 1860. Wow, that was early. That's very Norman Rockwell. By Vincent Cipoletti. Strike Zone. That's pretty cool. Those are awesome. Christy Mathewson. And now the piece de la resistance. Here's the 2020 class. Jeter, of course. Larry Walker, Marvin Miller, which I believe he was a owner or an announcer, I can't remember. These are all the old owners and some players. Spalding, Kaminsky, Connie Mack, Cy Young. Oh, here we go. This is the first class. Yeah. Cy Young, Connie Mack. So George Wright was on the Cincinnati Red Stockings when I was talking earlier about that book, If I Never Get Back. He's a key player in that. Him, his fellow teammates, there's going to be several in the first few classes of the Hall of Fame. They used all real characters. I mean, it's a phenomenal book. It's one of those books I've always wanted to make into a movie. But it's been optioned by a producer, famous producer, and I can't remember the name, but he's had the option on the book for years and years. I don't know if any activities happen on it. I check on it every few years, but it's still just not doing anything. Rogers Hornsby. Bob Feller. I used to have one of his cards when I was a kid. It was really old when I had it too. Hank Greenberg. Roy Capanella. Stan the Man Musial right there. Ted Williams, same year. They haven't added. Here's Alan Trammell, Detroit Tiger great. I think he's the pitching coach still for Detroit. He's definitely on the coach's bench. I'm not exactly sure what his exact title is. John Smoltz, he was a player when I was collecting. There he is, Ken Griffey Jr. I'm sure people already know this, but Ken Griffey followed in his father's footsteps. His father was Pittsburgh, I believe, was his team. He was a player, and then he was a coach. Tony La Russa, Frank Thomas, Greg Maddux. Man, that's awesome. Barry Larkin. Carlton Fisk, Pudge, Kirby Puckett, who's one of my favorite players. Dennis Eckersley, there's the Wizard, the Wiz, Ozzie Smith, Paul Molitor, Ryan Sandberg, famous Cubby. like these. These are really neat. They're etchings into the glass. That's pretty cool. So this goes back to the library. And this is the overlook. That's pretty cool. Playing baseball. Oh, that's cool. These are the old reporters that used to report on baseball. Back when that was a huge deal. Harry Carey's glasses. A lot of their microphones. Oh, the Sandlot, what a classic. Field of Dreams. This is cool. Oh, nice. Mr. 3000. That's Pride of St. Louis. Oh, this is cool. Look at all the movies made about baseball. This is a lot of the different jerseys and different things that they used in the movies. Of course, there's the League of Their Own props. Jackie Robin, or 42, I should say. Oh, 8 Men Out, one of my favorite baseball movies. Moneyball. So good. So that movie Sugar, that's that movie Sugar I was talking about in my Davenport, Iowa episode. They actually filmed at the minor league stadium there. It's a really good movie, and it shows you, look at what it's surrounded with. Look at all these great movies in here. Sugar's worth checking out though. I said it then. I'll link to that episode right up here. You should watch it.
Iowa. Kevin Costner, A92, James Earl Jones, Ray Liotta, Burt Lancaster.
If you haven't seen The Field of Dreams, you've been in a cave, because it's one of the greatest baseball movies ever lived, or ever made. However, this year they did the Field of Dreams game. It was the Yankees versus the White Sox, but I can't remember the teams because the opening, just get on YouTube and watch clips of Kevin Costner coming through the cornfield and the team coming through the corn. Stop it. Like, you're not going to be able to stop crying. It's amazing. You need to check it out. It just happened just a couple months ago. Baseball books, ornaments, baseballs, bats. Oh, you can get some of the vodka. Oh, that's cool. Wade Boggs, Johnny Bench, Hank Aaron. You can get your favorite players. Ooh, there's Al Kaline. Then you can go get it filled. They're empty bottles here. And then you get it filled down at the distillery. That's pretty awesome. Shot glasses. These are cool. Beer mugs. That's awesome. I think this bat is corked. Postcards for $1 a piece. That's pretty sweet. I wonder if they sell a whole set. It'd be several $100s, I guess. And then you can get the glass ones too. These are awesome. Wow. There's the wizard. Get your favorite player. That's awesome.
cool. Artwork, looks like they're signed. That's cool. If you have a man cave, this is the place to be. You can outfit the whole thing. Bats, old photography, cards, figures, wall hangings, everything. It's pretty cool. Magnets. Even baseball cards. The Archives collection. Obviously, you can get your favorite team's hat. Fitted. $22.50 is not bad. You'd expect there'd be a premium on these, but it does not appear to be the case. That's pretty cool. I love this old photography though. Yankee Stadium, Ebbets Field, Horace Wagner. That's pretty awesome. Very cool. That was awesome. It is every single time I come. It's amazing. I love baseball and I love the Hall of Fame. So, of course, I mentioned earlier when we were walking around Cooperstown just how cool this town is, but did you know a man named William Cooper bought the 10,000 acres back in 1785 to make this town, the village, I should say. And that's all well and good. He lived here his whole life, had a family, and became a judge, but his son, which obviously his last name was Cooper, I'll put his name at the bottom because I completely forgot his first name, but he was an American author and he did a whole bunch of Frontier series novels, but his most famous one was called The Last of the Mohicans, which ended up being a fabulous movie made in the, I guess, 80s, early 90s, but of course starring Daniel Day-Lewis. Anyway, it's interesting how all those things connect. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Set Streets and Eats and my tour of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm going to get back on the road, which I hope I'll see you further down it. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching.